Welcome to the Mental Knot. I'm Shelley Netco, sitting in for Scott Freymuller, our host, who's joining us from an undisclosed location. Well, actually, it's a disclosed location. I'm not lying. Scott, can you hear me now?
I can. Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. So tell us what's happening. First of all, I think we should start off with a little video that started your excursion or your shenanigans. What do you think?
All right, let's do that.
Yeah? Want to tee that up?
Well, this is it. This is the start of a journey. It's going to be a pretty big adventure. Heading out to the freeway here, the I-17, and I'm going to flip a coin and figure out if we go right or left, or I go right or left, and go from there. You know, last weekend when we talk about mental health and healing, last weekend was a big weekend for me. You know, it's something where blew up a little bit, broke down a little bit, and I realized there's still a lot more for me to do as far as letting go of some things in my past, and this was suggested on a really good way to do it. So anyways, just wanted to start documenting this trip and let people know, you know, how it feels to be able to disconnect a little bit from their life and do some exploring, go on an adventure, check some things out. It's gonna be pretty cool. So I'll keep everybody updated, and this will be on Instagram and probably Facebook, I guess. Anyways, hope everybody's having a good day. It's Friday, the 18th, I believe, and this is day one.
Have you seen that since you took off?
No, I don't even watch these videos.
Okay.
I just don't.
All right.
but no, you know, it's funny. When I did that, I couldn't hear the whole audio, but you know how I got here, just from looking at the plants in front of the house, right? That's how I went to Texas, and then Corpus Christi, which was amazing. It's been a really great trip, and yeah, man, it looks like I gained some weight from that first picture to now, but whatever, man, it's good. It's really good. So I'll elaborate a little bit on that. You know, a couple weeks ago, I had an event where, you know, I thought it was about like an ex relationship, but it actually wasn't. It was about family, and you know, all the work we've been doing on this show, and all of the you know, deep dives we've done, and truth and all that kind of stuff. I realized, I'm like, man, you know, I associated a lot of my life with this woman that I was in a relationship with for a really long time. I'd known since high school, and you know, I associated my family with that too. So that loss, it really hit me a couple weekends ago. It wasn't, you know, of course, you know, regardless, healthy, unhealthy, whatever the feelings are, of course you want, you know, the people in your life that were important to you, you know, whether you're angry at them or not, or whatever, to be happy and move on and you know, have a great life. And it was good to see that, but it was also sad to know that part of my life was over. And then also that, you know, family association with that relationship was over too.
So touch on that a little bit, because when you say you thought it was about her, but it was really about family, what does that mean?
It really is about family. It was just about like the people in my life that were close, and the people that knew me, you know, from high school and my childhood, and you know, you ever have those people in your life where you don't really have to tell them your history because they already know it. You know, they were there, you know, and that's a really, really cool thing, and something to think about in a relationship too. That's important is just having those people in your life that really know you. You know, you're good, the bad, you know, like I said, you know, the toxic or whatnot, and the healthy too. You know, the good times, the bad, all the adventures, all that kind of stuff. And that was one of those things. And I realized, you know, I had to let go of that. And that was a big deal for me. And then I also realized too that, you know, one of the things I've always been super scared of, to be completely frank, is to be alone. And this motorhome is one of those things where, you know, it was always a deal where I'd be with a whole bunch of different people, and there'd be people around, and I was actually kind of scared of it. So I said, screw it, I'm going to load this thing up and take off and just see where I end up and see what happens. And it was tough the first couple of days. I got to tell you, man, it was pretty hard being by yourself and not like just showing up places and being alone and stuff. It was pretty tough. But as you go, you know, you really start to learn who you are. And we talked about being alone a couple different times on the show, right, Shelley? And
yes.
And you know what it does? You know, I think I'm on week 2 now. And you know what it does is it makes you realize who you really are. Like, I'm not drama. I'm a super nice guy. I'm very generous. I get along with everybody, make friends easily. Shit, I haven't had an issue on the road. I mean, I drove, shit, I don't know how far I am from home, but a long ways, you know,
Far.
1,800 miles or something. And
Right, if you're in
I
Florida.
haven't had one issue, you know, getting fuel. I meet people at the gas station. Like last night, I think I told you about the gal that I met last night, right?
Yes.
Her name was Letitia. And I was getting fuel at a truck stop just coming into Florida, and she's bawling on the outside this truck stop with like a bag of clothes. And so I was like, hey, are you okay? And, you know, long story short, she just got beat by her husband, and she was trying to find a shelter. And it was, shit, I don't know, 7 o'clock at night. There's no shelters available. So I had her get in the rig, and I drove her to a hotel, and I got her a room for the night, gave her a couple $100. And, you know, stuff like that just happens. And,
Wow.
and, you know, I realized, I'm like, man, you know, that's who I am. That's who I want to be. And that's, you know, just one of those things where, you know, you learn so much about somebody just from that. You know, I think she was in the rig like 35 minutes or something. And she told me all kinds of stuff about her life and about, you know, how they treat people and how the culture is completely different than what we're used to, you know, and it's cool. And I've met just so many people cruising around and you know, sitting in a restaurant. I got invited to go sailing in the Bahamas. I got invited to go to Cabo at the end of this month, which I think I'm going to go.
You got a part-time job.
It's been cool.
Let's talk about your part-time job.
Yeah, you know, so last night, it was so funny. So last night, this work program, right? So I have a work program. So I dropped this gal off the hotel, Letitia, and I was like, hey, you know, there's tons of people around here looking for work. There's all these, you know, now hiring signs and all that. It's a season. And so I walk across the street to this bar and grab some food. I don't even know what this thing's called, but it's some dish that they have here that's specific to the area. It's like sausage rolled up in some bread and a whole bunch of cheese, and it's pretty gnarly. Anyways, so I had that, and I was chatting with the lady, and the lady sitting next to me just happened to own the bar, and I was like, hey, here's the deal. You know, I just brought this lady in, and she's, you know, she's in a tough jam and got her hotel room, whatever, you know, do you guys need help? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. I always want to be a bar back. And she goes, well, tomorrow's Mardi Gras. You want to come work? I was like, yeah, all right. So tonight I'm going to be a bar back.
Nice.
And check that out and see how that goes. But
Broaden
yeah,
your
you know,
skills.
it's just how it's been. And yeah, it's been amazing. It's really been one of those trips where, you know, you really get to know who you are. And that's the key to being alone. You know, I joke around a lot about, you know, the adventure, but, you know, being by yourself, you really, really understand just, you know, who you are and what you're all about. And I know we talked a little bit before, but I did want to bring this up. You know, when you're doing this stuff, it gives you that confidence to really know who you are. And I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship, I'm sure we all have, where somebody be like, oh, you know, you're angry or you're upset or you're, you know, and you're not, you know what I mean? It's cool to be by yourself for so long and realize, like, no, this is who I am. Like,
right.
This is who I am every day by myself. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I'm not put on a show. You know, this is who I am. I'm a nice, very cordial, you know, adventurous, fun dude that, you know, I don't want shit with anyone. You know what I mean? I get along with everybody. I've been having a great time. And I think that's the key to that alone piece, right? Like, we talk about who you are, and I didn't really know what it meant until I actually did this.
Right. And it's always someone's perception when you're in that relationship where they perceive you to be whatever that is. But it's really just the conflict that creates that perception, right?
Yeah, you know, it is. And sometimes it's projecting, you know, their stuff onto you, whether it's intentional or not intentional. But it's powerful, man. This has been, you know, there's been some tears. You know, I can't say that I didn't lay there and be totally bummed out a few nights. And but I've also had days like today where it's Mardi Gras in, you know, right down the road from Pensacola, Florida, with white beaches and beautiful ocean and some amazing people and just having a blast, you know. That was actually in, where was I? I forget. Mustang Island, maybe?
Yes.
And, you know, I bought this bike and it had fat tires on it. I didn't know why. I mean, right, because I'm in Phoenix. So, and it was perfect for the beach. So I just started riding down the beach, man. I filled up my cup with a drink and I started riding down the beach and I just kept riding. It was awesome. You know, it was almost like, what's that movie? Forrest Gump. And
nice.
Then, you know, I bought a kite.
Instead of running, you're riding.
I bought a kite, so I flew. Yeah, I was riding my bike. So, you know, I bought a kite and I flew a kite. And, man, it's been so fun. But yeah, I just met some great people. Had some amazing food, and you know, I put that truck. I put my truck in Baja mode. And I spun donuts out on the beach, and it was talk about just having some laughs, you know, and just like getting back to your roots and being a kid. But then also too, lots of business stuff's been going on, and I've been actually really productive on the road. I'm blessed to have a fantastic team behind me. We started a new division at work. I don't even know if I told you, but we're going to start remodeling houses. That's going to be another one of our divisions in my company, my construction company. And there's just lots of stuff going on. And I'm so glad and grateful that I have you to run the show, and, Tammy and Amy and everybody to run the office, and Travis and, Lisa doing my house remodel, and then actually starting that division, and we're hiring people. And so lots is going on, but it's just really smooth. And, even my ex is taking care of my son while I'm gone. I'm going to fly him out during spring break. But yeah, I mean, this is like such an amazing opportunity, and I'm so grateful to be able to do this and just kind of disconnect for some, little bit. And, sorry for my dress, but it is Mardi Gras, and I am.
You look great.
Florida, so.
You look
and
great.
It's bright too. It's
I would expect nothing less.
I look like a goofball.
Not at all.
Like a goofball.
Not at all.
But it's so friggin' bright. And actually, my eyes hurt too. No kidding. It's like so bright. I was out there on the beach this morning cruising around, and the sand's white, and the water's like this, just deep blue. It's beautiful, man. It is just, it's jaw dropping. It almost brings tears to your eyes. It's so crazy how pretty this place is.
So have you ever been in such a state of joy? Because I'm hearing so much of that coming through.
Now, yes, of course I have,
Okay.
I mean, it's so fun. And I haven't been in a state of joy in a long time, to be honest with you, but it's not always joy, right? Like you have ups and downs, and you miss, I miss my son, and I miss you guys, and I miss, my stuff at home, but I also know that I need to do this. Like I need to break that seal and get used to, being by yourself and really knowing who I am, you know what I mean? And shit, we might even start another construction division out here. I saw some guys taking care of the beach and stuff, and we could do all that. So, a little asset management on the beach would be great. So have a little division out here. Maybe we should film a show out here. What do you think, Robin? You want to come out to Florida and do a little show on the beach here in Pensacola, or what?
Well, I may have been raised in Arizona, but I am actually a Floridian by birth, Miami.
There you go.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Just so it's not during hurricane
I don't know
season.
if this is Miami style, but this is pretty cool stuff, man. It's.
I don't know. You're looking good. You look like you're having fun. But we were joking off air about you wearing the beads with your shirt on. But please don't take your shirt off, because it does look pretty good the way it is.
That would be Mardi Gras appropriate.
No, I can actually.
Well,
I can
here we
totally
go.
take my shirt off. I don't care. Yeah.
I had to go there.
That's another thing. That's another thing too is your habits. I make my bed every day. I keep the rig clean. I've been working out every day and riding my bike a lot, and it's those habits too, that are ingrained in you and what makes you happy. And that's me. It's totally me. I love riding my bicycle and motorcycles and all that kind of stuff. I love working out. I love doing fun shit and, adventures, and, going by a kite store and be like, dude, it'd be cool to have a kite like that. Let's buy American flag kite and fly that sumbitch, And it's, I don't know, just stuff like that. It's been really cool. So.
He seems like he's kind of on a soul cleansing journey.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Very much so. It's very
it is
cathartic.
This is a soul cleansing journey. That it's super, super, super cathartic. It is amazing. And if I could recommend it to anybody, I would. I mean, this has been probably the most healthy, challenging, sad, happy things I've ever done in my life. I think I've had every single emotion, and driving down the road, and you have lots of time to think, man. I think I drove 10 hours straight yesterday, between fuel stops and picking up people that got in a jam. But man, you have a lot of time to think. And I did a couple videos on the road, and man, you really get some clarity on life. I can tell you that for sure.
When you're alone, absolutely.
Yeah. And what else goes away is like any kind of anger. We talk about like working from the heart and stuff. And, I don't, like I always say, I don't have any enemies. I don't wish anything bad on anybody. But I will say that before I left, about a week before I left, I behaved in a way that I wasn't proud of. And I really had to dig deep into that. 'Cause I'm like, man, that's not me. That's not how I roll. And that's not what I'm about and what this show's about and what my life's about. And so I really had to do some soul searching, and I did. I figured it out. And, that truth kind of sucks. It's tough to dig deep and be like, okay, what's this really about? And then admit it to yourself and correct it,
Yeah. And what I admire about you about that was that situation came up, and we talk about hard stop. We've talked about that a couple of times, but you knew that you yourself needed that. And sometimes we rely on people in our lives to tell us that, but you have the self-awareness. So you're at that place that you said, okay, buddy, let's get it together. Hard stop right now. And you acted on it.
Yeah. And, you know, I did. And it's so big. It's so much bigger than I even thought it was, you know, like, and you know, I put myself in positions, you know, a long time ago. You know, I think everybody knows the story, right? We don't need to hash that out, but you know, I let go of a lot of friendships and I let go of, you know, family. My mom died, you know, last year, and that stuff was pretty fresh. And, you know, I didn't really realize it. And I was like, man, you know, this stuff's still boiling up, and it came out sideways, and it came out in a way that I didn't really expect, you know. People that I didn't really care about, you know what I'm saying? And it was super, super impactful. That happened. And you're right, man. I was like, dude, I got to do a hard stop. I got to figure this out. What I just did doesn't make any sense. How I behave doesn't make any sense. And, you know, I definitely want to be as healthy as I can possibly be. And I have this opportunity to go out and explore and do my thing. And I did, you know, and I'm glad I did it. I'm really super glad I did it. And super grateful that I could do it, you know? So.
Are you just being very
Yeah,
synchronistic and in the moment and doing whatever comes up and responding? Is that how you're living the day-to-day now?
Yeah, there's no plan. So I think, did I tell you how I got to Pensacola?
You were
You
headed
ever
for
see
the
that movie Contact with Jodie Foster?
You were headed for the flying harpoon.
So you know, I watched well, how I got to, it's funny, Texas, there's a Texas ebony tree out front of the house in Texas sage, and I was like, shit, I guess I should go to Texas, because I wanted to go to California and everything was all booked, you know. So I decided to go to Texas. I zoom in and there's Corpus Christi. I'm like, oh, the embodiment of Christ. Screw it, I'll go there. It's right next to the water, so that's where I ended up. And then you know, when I was in Corpus Christi, I'm like, okay, what's the next place I could go? And one of my favorite movies is Contact, and in Contact, you know, Jodie Foster got her clarity when she went to Pensacola. So that's why I came to Pensacola. And it's no joke. Like when you walk out there on that beach, it's epic. It's amazing. So it sounds weird. It sounds crazy, but yeah, like when you say, you know, on a whim and doing whatever, I'm on a whim, man. There's no plan. There's no plan whatsoever.
And it's amazing.
Like,
all the
right
synchronicities that have been coming up as you've just been going with the flow is incredible.
Oh, it's crazy. And I've met, man, just amazing people and people that have helped me, you know, like this rig's huge. It's 45 feet and it doesn't get in and out of anywhere easy. And just getting in and out of these spots in these RV parks and, you know, making instant friends and people bringing food over. Oh, you're by yourself, and oh, you do your own laundry, and do you need any help? And it's pretty funny, you know. It's one of those things where it's you know, I got friends all across the country now. It seems like, you know, I met you know, some bar owners. Like last night I met some people in Corpus Christi that were super cool that I hung out with for a while. I went golfing with a gal that I met in a bar. She took me golfing. She owns a condo and like a member of a golf course in Corpus Christi. So we went golfing. I had a blast. It was one of the funnest things I've ever done. I laughed my ass off. And, you know, we only golfed 9 holes before I got bored. And, you know, I told her, that's it. You know, I get 9 holes out of me on that deal, but I actually golfed pretty good. You know, new set of golf clubs I threw in my truck for Gee Whiz that I'd never used before. And I ended up on a golf course.
And it looked like it was during a typhoon, no less.
Man, dude, it was so freaking cold. I bought these things that you can change in. You know, I bought them for my boat. I just happened to have one in the rig, and so I wore it, and I was like, holy shit, it was so cold.
You wore the changing tent.
Amazing. And I don't golf. Like, I don't golf. That's not my thing, you know. But even that was a learning experience. You know, I had a great conversation with this gal, super fun. Way too young for me, so no option for dating or whatever. But it was a great time, man. I had a blast, an absolute freaking blast. So.
Good. Sometimes, I mean, it absolutely helps to just not have any intention or any objective or any perceived outcome and just go for it.
Question.
Yeah, you know.
That's what the whole trip is about, right?
Well, you know, it really is. It's really about that. And just to understand, you know, we say, like, you're not alone. And the only reason why you're alone is if you want to be alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
if you
know,
focus
you
on the
anywhere.
aloneness, right? If you focus on that, I'm alone, and then jumping on a pity party, it changes everything.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of the stuff that we do to ourselves, right? And here's another awareness that's really incredible. And sometimes difficult to realize, but, you know, I only let people in so far in my life, right? And I think that's an interesting thing that I do. I have tons of friends. I know tons of people, but I only let them get so close to me. And I never really realized that before until just now, being by myself on the road. Like, I'll talk to people for a while and joke around and have a great time. And then I just kind of cut it off. I'm like, okay, that's it. See ya, and I go do my thing, I realized that, I have a ton of people in my life that know me really, really well. And you're one of them, Shelley, for sure. But friends I've known for a really long time. And I don't have a lot of those people in my life. I don't share everything. And I think that's probably something I've learned with age and recently been educated. You and I talked about that too, is being out front a little bit more. You got to really watch the people that you have around you. And then, obviously the more successful you get, there's an element to that too. Not having a guard up, but just being a little bit more cautious in life. And,
right.
I think I've done that too. And, it's impactful when, you have people that you've known for a really long time that screw you over. And it's impactful that people I've known for a really long time that I haven't been the best to either, and those are the things you learn when you're on the road and you're just being freaking real,
Right. Right. And I think we get to that place where people need to earn our trust in order for them to earn more, just for us to be more vulnerable and learn more about us.
Yeah. And that's that self-confidence, self-worth piece that we work on so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's, people have to earn a spot at your table, just like you should earn a spot at theirs.
Yep.
And we talk about being on the show and channeling or whatever this is, or talking or whatnot. But, most of the things I say, I'm talking to myself in the mirror, right? Like, every day is a new day, right? And, I listen to a lot of stuff, and I've read a lot of things. I've done some journaling. And one of the things I realize is I'm like, we're reborn every day. Like, you don't have to be the person you were yesterday. Every day you wake up, you can be whoever you want. And if you want to be better and nicer and or worse or whatever, it's all within us, right? Like, you can be dark or light. It's up to you every day. And I just been choosing great things, and I've been, looking for positives and getting to know some really amazing people and learning about the world and seeing parts of the country I've never seen and doing things I've never done. And it's powerful, man. I can't say enough about it. And I know a lot of people wouldn't have this opportunity. I'm glad I did, so I can just share some of the insights, but man, it's never really about, it's funny, like, people talk about exes, or they talk about breakups, they talk about family members that passed away, and it's hardly ever about them. It's almost always about you.
Right.
It's almost always about you. And when I say you, I mean me. And I'm realizing that too. It's like, I don't miss the person. It didn't work out for a reason, right? Like, I don't miss that person. I miss the companionship, and I miss the fun and the adventures
The feelings.
that you can share with
yes,
somebody.
the feelings and what you gained from it.
But
yes.
it's not the person necessarily, right?
Right.
And good, bad, or indifferent, things end for a reason. And God or the universe or whatever you want to believe in, you move on for a reason. And that's where I'm at. And the position I'm in is for a reason. Like, I'm doing this for a reason, so I can share, what I've learned and some insights. And I know it's important, right? I know that
continue to grow.
Process.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another thing too, is the growth, like I said, I've done a ton of stuff, and EMDR, we've talked about all that stuff, but the growth never stops. And that work never stops. And you have to be self-aware all the time, not sometimes, but all the time.
Right.
And that's the tough part. That's the hard thing to do, is be like, oh, I screwed up. Like, that wasn't good. Or, oh man, I did that really, really good. And you also realize too, that all the great shit that you've done, because we've all done amazing things, like everybody, right? No matter who you are, everybody's done something amazing, and multiple things, I'm sure. And that's one of the things too, is just realizing, like, man, I've built an amazing business, an amazing group of friends. My son is like healthy, and shit, even me and my ex-wife get along. There's like not even a handful of people in the world I don't get along with. But it's crazy. It's just, man, it's such an eye-opening experience. I can't tell you.
It's powerful.
Yeah, very powerful. And there's more stories too that'll come up, I'm sure, in conversation. But yeah, the other thing is too, is empowering the people around you. The folks I have around me that help me build business and even start new businesses, and you. I mean, it's so cool to see, like, you sitting there in that chair, like, you're a badass, man. You freaking got this dialed. Like, you should have your own show, your own dating show. And I'm super, super happy to have all these people around me that can just hammer it, And also realizing, like, this shit's not about you. Like, this isn't about me. This is about like everything, like, you know, everybody's growth. And once you realize and not be selfish and realize shit's not about you, then, you know what I mean? That's powerful in itself.
Well,
Last night,
it's what your mission was when you started. This is all about the greater good.
Well,
and it's empowering
it's what my
people,
mission was.
community, mental health, all of it. And it's definitely
Yeah.
not about us.
It's what my mission was when I was a fireman. You know, that's who I am. I love helping people. And, you know, even last night I was like, shit, I was tired, dude. I drove for 9.5 freaking hours, and I didn't want to deal with that lady, but I was like, dude, you need help, you know? And I was like, man, this is what it's all about, right? Like, you're here for a reason. You're sitting in front of me crying for a reason. So, you know, and I'm not a freak. I'm not going to hurt anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you're here for a reason. And it was almost like, I was like, man, you know, I'm a single guy driving her home. Like, I don't want her to get in my motor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started thinking like all those negative things at first. And I'm like, fuck that. No, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm going to help this lady, and I don't give a shit what people think. And I know she's not a bad person. She's in my path for a reason. You know, she needs help. So I helped her, and it was cool. It felt amazingly good. And I'll tell you, here's a funny thing. So I walked in the hotel, and I told the gal, she didn't have any money or anything. And I told the gal, I said, hey, you know, this gal's she's a victim of domestic violence. And she started laughing. And I was like, no, I'm serious. Like, she goes, oh, I thought you were kidding. She goes, I thought like she was all messed up, like, because you guys were at the beach or something. I'm like, no. I said, she's actually a victim of domestic violence. And would you mind helping us out? Because she said she didn't have any rooms. So obviously, you know, the hotels have rooms or whatever spares. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, who would think, right? Mm-hmm. But they got like all these shampoos, and they got her some clothes, and they had some like uniforms, some shirts there, and they gave her some shirts.
That's so nice.
Like, she was dialed, man. Free breakfast the next day. I was like, shit, maybe I should, you know, work out.
Show up for breakfast.
Maybe I should say, you know, hey, yeah, I need some help. Look at me. I'm wearing beads and sunglasses.
Right.
You know, so,
just keep your shirt on.
Yeah, right. It's I'm still wearing those red shorts, by the way. I haven't changed. I'm wearing flip-flops and red shorts. And I've been riding my bike around and cruising and just having fun.
I'm disappointed. I don't see any orange.
There's some orange on my hat, I think, right here.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Or right here.
Okay,
over
good.
here.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
anyways.
Mental health question for you, Scott. Have you taken your shoes off and walked in the ocean?
Oh, hell yeah.
Good. And you know what I'm talking about,
today.
grounding
Yes.
for your mental health. Good.
Oh man, it's
That's the
so
best.
powerful.
Yes.
I was talking to the girls in the office this morning. We catch up almost every day and just talk about projects and bids and pricing and things and you know, everything that's going on. And anyway, I had the girls on FaceTime, and I flipped it around, and I was walking around and showing them where I'm at, and I had my feet in the sand, in the water, and it was cool, man. It's just, and they were like, oh my God, I can't believe how pretty it is. I'm like, I can't either. Like, I can't tell you. Like, what are the chances you drive from Phoenix to freaking Florida and hang out on the beach? Like, literally, I'm right across the street from the beach. This is awesome. It doesn't get better, I'm telling you. So
We're happy
pretty
for
cool
you.
stuff. Yeah, I'm happy for me too.
And excited to
honestly. I mean,
see.
I'm
You
super
said this is
grateful.
going to be a 33-day trip, right? That's what you told me originally. 33, right?
Dude, I don't know. I think it's going to be 33 days.
That's what you said.
But
But
you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to go outside if that's cool with you guys. Can I carry you outside? Because I have this deck.
it's up to
And
Robin.
if it-
She's the boss.
Robin, if it messes up your audio, then so be it. But
No, that's
I'll
cool.
come back
Just
inside,
just
'cause
give
you're
us
the
a
boss.
tour. Give us a tour of what's going on outside, and if we lose you,
All right,
then
give us
that's
a
on
tour.
you.
Yeah. There you go. So, yeah. So here's the rig. I don't know if you guys can see this thing. There's the rig right there.
Wow.
And then I got this. So you rent these spots, right? And you got like a gazebo. I got my barbecue and all
Wow.
my stuff, and pretty cool, huh?
Fancy.
And then I got a deck up there. I can go up on the deck and on the roof and hang out. Yeah, this place is amazing.
That's
It's
fantastic.
absolutely amazing. So then, so I got myself in a parade, you know, an RV park parade
Of
with all
course.
the kids. I rode my bike in the parade, and
Are they going to put lights on
yeah,
you?
man. Well, you know what? I didn't get the wheel lights yet because I didn't think they do good in the sand. so yeah, you know, I just put my beads on the bike and rolled that way. So yeah, good stuff.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Nice.
So, anyways, how's your sound, Robin? Are we good?
Oh, we're good. But I was just going to say, you know what the best thing about this whole thing is? The smile on your face.
Yes.
Just as you stopped smiling, I said
Yeah.
that.
Yes. Yes.
Man, you know, I'm telling you too, it is so bitching. So we did this tour around the RV park. This place, it's not an RV park, by the way. This place is freaking amazing. Like, they have houses next to the
It's a
spot.
resort.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
resort.
Oh my God, it's
It's a rig
Oh, yeah, it's
resort.
a resort.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so we get done, and then they're cooking hot dogs and hamburgers, and you got free drinks, and I'm like, shit, man, this is living, dude. This is freaking. It was awesome. And when I go to work later, the restaurant's like literally right there.
When I go to work
It's
for
like
your
walk,
T-shirt.
200 yards
That's
away. I got to go
amazing.
to work later. I'm gonna go bar back or whatever the hell I'm gonna do. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. So
I love it.
it'll be fun.
Good stuff.
So anyways,
So that's the plan for
summary
today,
is-
going to work?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to work tonight.
So you got on tap.
I don't even know what. I think you have to work till 2 or some shit at the bar, don't you?
Yeah,
I don't
it's
even
going to
know.
be a late night. Better get a nap in.
But yeah, I'm ready to go. I can do this. I can do it. I got to figure it out. But yeah, in summary, I don't even know.
Yeah, wrap it up. Tell me your biggest lesson.
Yeah.
Your biggest lesson learned thus far, day 13.
Man, dude, I don't even know. It's
I think he already
You know how we
said
talk
it.
about truth and-
Kindness.
yeah, it is. It's true. It's like being grateful and stuff, and self-awareness. You know how we talk about truth all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and you always say like, oh yeah, and this is my truth, and man, you really got to dig deep for that. And that transparency piece is really key, even with yourself. But thinking like, oh, what was me, and man, I missed this person, or this person died, or whatever, and then you really think about like, what's this pain really about? Like, what's the loss really about? And when you let go of that anger and you look at it and you think about, the good stuff, and Shelly, you and I talked about this, and it's hard to let go of some things in your life, especially things that have been a permanent fixture for a really long time, but to realize that, good, bad, or indifferent, healthy, unhealthy, whatever you want to say, it's still an experience, and it's still a growth experience. And if you can pull that out of, your relationships and your business endeavors and things like that, and realize that it is growth and it is to help you build and grow, I mean, that's the most powerful thing. And it takes away that anger. And then once that anger goes away, then you're into acceptance, and, you finalize the whole deal. And I'm sure you'll be able to elaborate better than me, but that's the biggest piece, right? And
Right.
you have to be by yourself to figure that shit out. I mean, you really do. And to understand who you really are is the most powerful thing ever, because there's no influence on me whatsoever from anything. It's just me.
Right.
And,
And it's harder to feel the
knowing who you
feelings.
are.
It's harder to feel those feelings and understand it if you're distracted with other people, other things. I don't know, just numbing it, masking it, call it whatever you want. And until you really
even-
dig into it, right?
Yeah, or even just the influence, of having others around you, tell you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of the things I said too is when you're by yourself, I can't say this enough, is that who you freaking are. You know what I mean? Like, people aren't going to tell you, your drama, you're crazy, you're angry all the time. That's all bullshit. You'd be like, no, dude, I've been on the road for 33 days and I'm fucking happy as hell. Like, I get along with people, and I love life, and I love people, and I love myself, and this is fun. So it's going to be hard to take that away from here forward. I can promise you that, and it doesn't come for free either. I mean, it comes with a lot of pain and a lot of hard work. I mean, I've been doing counseling forever, and I'll continue to do that, check-ins and working with you and working on the show and, our foundation and all that stuff. I mean, it's really freaking hard to walk the walk. I can tell you that. It's tough.
Well, and what's nice about it is what you've gained on this trip so far. You can't unremember it, you can't mind erase it, and it's become a part of you now. So this is you today, and you're only going to continue to grow. Yeah,
and just realizing, so many things have changed. When we talk about grow, I think I've grown a little bit weight-wise too, but that's cool. Like, I don't even give a shit, because the food's been amazing, and I've been living life, and realizing what's important, and having that balance in life, and there's, it's motivating. Like, it hurts at first, it's lonely, and you're like, God, I just want to like lay in bed and watch TV, and then you realize like, holy shit, there's an amazing world out there, and your intuition, and you start learning things like, I don't know, you just can't function unless you're out in the world. You got to get outside. You really got to get out and see people, whether you're introverted or extroverted or whatever. Just being outside is amazing, and exploring the world and cruising around, and man, you can't live unless you're out. So you got to get out.
Right.
And that's one of the things I realized too, is that, we get behind our phones so much and our, the computers and the TVs and all the other shit we got going on and all those thirds we talk about. And, I disconnected this last weekend. I turned everything off, man, just called it good. And that was hard. Like the first day, all I want to do is pick up my phone. And then after that first day, I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? It's almost like, oh, there's a road there. Oh, I can ride my bike. Oh, there's the beach. Oh, hey, how are you? And you actually connect with people without a distraction. And that's a whole different experience, man. I haven't done that in a long time either. And that's another lesson learned, is that, like, put your shit away, put your electronics away, and engage in the world a little bit and actually experience life. And that's, I can't say that it's fucking powerful. And everybody needs to do that. Like, we really need to focus on that more and stop that, addiction to electronics. I've hardly been on Facebook, hardly been on Instagram, and all that shit. It's gone, and man, putting the phone away and stuff is crazy. It was just,
well, we've talked about habits before. So you have to first undo the habit that you had, and before you can replace it and fill that void with the new habit. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to start something new, and then boom, you start something new. It's an undoing first.
Yeah. You do. It's tough. You really do have to undo it. And that's the hardest part. And undoing those habits too, like I keep referring back to this event because that's what got me here. But, being triggered by someone from your past and reacting like you did in the past was powerful. You're like, that's not even me. Like, what the hell was that even about? But it's just this, the trigger puts you back into that, who you were before and who you aren't now. And you're like, whoa, that doesn't work out, and
right.
What's this all about? And that's, back to that hard stop and that mental health piece. And we all do it. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all human beings. We need to move on. But it's part of life. And the funny thing is too, is when you make mistakes, a lot of people beat themselves down about it. Like, I think you and I had a conversation, Shelley. You're like, dude, everybody makes mistakes. Like, what are you so worried about? And that's a key thing too. That's a big thing to realize and learn also, is that, we're human beings.
Yeah, give yourself grace.
Yeah, give yourself some freaking grace, man, and realize who you are, and that every day, like I said, you can wake up and be whoever you want. Every day's a new day. You don't have to be who you were before. And, like we said, we all have the dark, we all have the light, and, you choose light every day, right? It's that balance. But yeah, just realizing that and letting people know that, man, dude, you don't have to hang on to the negative shit. You don't have to be that person that you were. You don't have to, be, I guess, defined by a mistake or to whatever. You know what I mean? Every day is a new day. And that's the key. And that's what I learned too, is like literally every day is a new day here. I got here last night. I wake up this morning and I got, an ocean with a white beach and amazing people and beads. And, I decorated my bicycle and I was on a parade already and I got a job. I mean, like, shit, you kidding me?
But you also played somebody's guardian angel as well. So just from a survivor of domestic violence, I want to tell you thank you for that, because not enough people make that difference for somebody. So thank you for doing that for her.
Yeah, and you know what? That brought awareness too. Remember that when we fight and we do shit to each other, when I was listening to her talk, I was like, man, I've had some gnarly fights, with my exes and my ex-girlfriends and we all have, right? And just realizing that, fighting with heart, not letting that shit get to you so much to where you say things and do things that you regret. And, man, that was powerful too in itself. And, a guardian angel, I don't know if it was me or whatever, but I know that there's been a whole bunch of people watching after me my whole life. And it was a pleasure to do it for somebody else and to realize and see how she felt and what she was going through. And, that was really impactful for me also, and, she wasn't in like huge distress, but definitely in distress emotionally for sure. And, scared of her future and all those things. And, it's not just about the fight or the argument or the event. It's about like, shit, now what do I do?
Yeah,
you have to still deal with the pain of the relationship.
You changed her life.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. And you gave her hope.
But again, it's my pleasure. Yeah. And that's what we're about, right? Like that's what the foundation's about. And that's what, it's about growth and about us being better every day and making that choice every day, to be the light, not dark. So,
right.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Stuff. It's beautiful.
So what do we do now, Shelley?
Well,
boss, what do we do
now? Are we going to wrap this up? we'll wrap this up, and you can go fly a kite for a second, come back on. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I might go sit on my deck. I might move a chair up there and I'll hang out in the sun for a few.
All right.
But yeah,
All right.
Let me know when we're ready to go. I'll be on here. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, we'll ping you in a second. This is Shelley Netco and Scott Freymuller. Thanks for joining us on The Mental Knot today.